Good evening, everybody, and welcome for some UPL Valorant action. I am Septilence, joined by Jag to bring you, I'm going to say, an exciting matchup here because there is a lot on the line for about half of the people involved today.
Yeah, we were here for the summer split. It seems like by week 5, almost everything was done and dusted. Things were wrapped up for the most part. It was really just down to seeding. This has been, I would say, one of the most exciting week 5s I've ever seen in any sort of competition. There's a lot on the line here for one team. They could finish anywhere between 1 and 4th place. Yes, they have that playoff seed already locked in, but they could not finish as high as they expected to. The other one, they are fighting for their life here currently in a three-way tie, at least when it comes to standings round-wise. Not exactly, but as we look at these rosters, I did get to go over Converse week 3 against Winthrop. And Winthrop, they had that upset win over them, so they beat the defending champions. They've kind of become the favorites, but they still have to go up against the Zenigma squad.
Yeah, I mean, talk about an upset. That's probably the epitome of one. That is the prime definition of what would be called an upset. We expect a team to do great. That exact same team just getting caught out. And now Winthrop, like you said, almost that fan favorite, almost that team expected to take this moving further. And it's really going to come down to this. This is going to be what is kind of all the marbles are on the table right here, right now.
Yeah, so when they're already locked in, they're the ones playing for their playoff lives right now. There are some interesting scenarios because there is another match going on against the other 2-2 teams, Akuma and UBC. So depending on how that works out, maybe if they win one game only, they lose the series, they could still go on in that 4th seed. But if they win the series, they are in no matter what. So that is what they're aiming for. And one thing to notice, I was looking over the UPL document the other day. They actually added 2 new starters to this lineup just this past Monday. So we'll see if those 2 actually come in. Their names are down, Chris and Trozic. We'll see if they're able to come in. But making changes this late into the game, it could be everything
Scary.
they need to get across the finish line. Or, like you said, could be very scary, could be very dangerous.
Yeah, I personally am never a fan of changing rosters unless you absolutely have to when you're this deep into a season. Teams have synergy. You've been playing with the same people already. You know what styles of play they're going to be bringing to the table. When you add in a wild card on your own team, that to me usually feels like you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. I wouldn't be surprised if these subs didn't make an appearance tonight, but if they have to, so be it.
And it looks like that is the roster we have in lobby. So we do see, yeah, there it is. It's both of them, Chris and Trozic, are there. One thing to know is that we actually did see Zenigma, you and I, back in week 1. It feels like forever ago.
It feels like ages.
Against Converse. And they actually had a pretty good showing. They only got to play one map because they had that one map loss due to the substitution rule. But in that one map, they played very close until the end. Weren't able to get it done, but both of these teams have gone toe-to-toe with Converse, which, is the defending champion. So I think that's kind of the gold standard right now, and both have done pretty well overall. So this could be a very close matchup.
Absolutely. And, we've talked a lot about the players. Let's take a look at the maps on what we've got brought to the table here tonight. We're going to be seeing, it looks like the maps are Haven, Ascent, and Icebox. One day I'll see binds, man. One day. I know it'll happen, but that day, unfortunately, is not today. We're going to be starting off with Haven. Now, this is the map that we often say the attacking side usually has at least a small advantage.
Yeah, definitely more than any other map. But honestly, I'm wondering about Fracture, if that changes, because you and I have not had a chance to cast Fracture, and I don't know if we ever will based on how it is, but not today, at least not in this map pool either. Yeah, it's interesting because Ascent is chosen, not surprising, but usually we see it as the first map. I feel like it's a great way to gain momentum if you take that early win here in Haven. I feel like it's more of a mystery. I feel like it's more of a toss-up because, sure, attacker sided a bit more advantageous, but defensive side still the name of the game when it comes down to it. And it was Zenigma, actually. They didn't choose the map. It was them who got to choose the side. They chose defense first when Winthrop chose the map. So you got to question if that is because they just feel more confident on defense in general, or maybe they have a specific composition plan for that.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I kind of lost myself in thought for just a moment. I'm considering the options that we're going to be seeing here. Maybe an Astra, that feels possible. Maybe a Sova, but Jet is the one that I'm really looking out for. There was that weird bug that was recently fixed, so she's back in full swing, or at least what full swing is now. She's never going to be as strong as she used to be, but Jet is probably going to make an appearance. Are there any agents where you hear Haven, you're like, oh, easy?
I gotta say, I feel like Astra has been kind of the best controller in the game for a while now, but I do feel like Omen, this is kind of the map where he has the most presence, because a lot of those entries are kind of just long sight lines, so if you're able to get a good paranoia, or just get your From the Shadows up and teleport through, they can both be great ways to get an entry. Astra, good at map control, good at being everywhere at once, but when you actually need to initiate on one specific place, not exactly the best agent to have. So I feel like we could see him. One thing I'm very interested about is Reyna. I always always talk about how much I love Reyna on maps like Ascent and Icebox. We might see her a bit later, but here I feel like she's kind of taken over that double duelist role in the secondary if you do that, because Phoenix is not as strong as he used to be. Raze isn't really great because there's not a lot of high ground, so her abilities aren't as useful. And Jet is almost always going to be a lock-in, and we don't even talk about Yoru in the scenario. So I feel like Reyna could work here.
Yeah, Yoru more like Yorhu, am I right? I don't think I've ever cast somebody playing Yoru in a competitive setting ever. I genuinely do not think so. If I have, is it the one time we've seen it one time?
Yeah, I think so. We've seen it once.
Oh, unbelievable. But I think you've made a great point there as well. Reyna has really been making an appearance recently. That double duelist has been very confident as well. And I want to jump back. I actually was talking to some friends about this earlier today. Phoenix is so stuck in a weird spot because I think anything Phoenix can do, Skye can do better, and she can heal her teammates. So I think if you were going to play Phoenix, Skye's probably going to fill up that slot instead. So maybe that double healer comp comes through, the Sage and the Skye. I think Sage on Haven is where we're most likely to see her, perhaps on Icebox as well. I saw somebody recently go for a double healer comp on Ascent. Personally, I wasn't a fan, but to each their own. I'm sure any of these players could dunk on me any day of the week. I'm just here to speculate some opportunities. But either way, I'd expect Reyna, Astra, probably a Sage, had I to guess, and maybe a Jet. So double duelist, but that fifth slot, I mean, maybe a KJ? Honestly, I don't know. Maybe a Sova?
Cypher. I think Cypher could work.
Oh, Cypher would be good
if you're on defense. I was going to say that double healers comp that we saw in Ascent. That was last night. You and I got to cast that game.
Oh, yeah!
Work out. I think, I would say either Split or Icebox. She used to be really good on Haven, but nowadays you don't see her a lot because there's just better characters like Skye when you can, instead of running a double support, double healer comp, you can run a double duelist or something else. I think the biggest thing is you're right about the Phoenix, and I saw that earlier on your Twitter, actually. Go check out Sepflints at Sepflints on Twitter. He got shadow banned a little bit, can't follow him back for the moment, but Skye is going to be coming out at least on one side, not surprising at all. And I was going to say, I feel like Skye, maybe there's a chance for K to kind of come into the mix more, but obviously not the case. And actually, it is going to be a Phoenix, so that is very interesting. If you're on a double duelist comp, this is not what I was expecting, but we'll see if they can make it work.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I almost got one of the teams entirely right. I just was one off, unfortunately. But the agents that I expected really, Astra and Skye really making an appearance, Jet on both sides as well. But that Phoenix, I mean, I don't hate it, right? It's like you're not sacrificing the game by picking Phoenix. It's not the end of the world. But I do think Skye could do anything Phoenix can do better. Maybe we've got a specialist situation. Somebody knows Phoenix a little bit better than normal. I'm really curious. That's the player I'm going to be keeping an eye on here.
Yeah, and if I remember, Ollie looked pretty dang good on the Phoenix when I got to cast him about 2 weeks ago. But it's been a while. My caster brain, doesn't work as well as it used to. So we'll have to see if that holds up as truth, if it comes into fruition. They seem to be pretty comfortable in that role from what I remember, though they were doing pretty well. It was still Flair who was kind of bringing up the rear in that game, but honestly, as a Phoenix, you're not the primary engage target, so you're really playing that Skye role more for initiation than being the one to rush in.
Yeah, and I'm gonna comment. Ali bought a Sheriff, and it did not pay off. Reaper gonna be able to find that first kill with the Ghost. Now Swish goes for the Sheriff instead. Looks for that one-tap potential. Flair puts down Trazix. Now it's gonna be that 4v4 tie-up. A great dodge of the flash there, but not able to rotate fast enough. A smoke into an enemy, and Reaper waiting right around the corner. Flair will fall. Here comes Twice. Looking to find that double tap. The name really could come tried and true here, but Winthrop, they're going to be able to tie things up 3-3 as Limit Tester pushes Winthrop to their limit here in this pistol round. 3v2, Twice desperate, goes for the cage on the rotate. Might be able to catch out somebody here, but KJ falls back far enough. Still a minute on the clock, so Winthrop by no means has to rush this.
No, but they also don't have the spike in their hands. So they can't just rotate out and try to go for your plant elsewhere. They have to take this fight on A eventually, and that Killjoy is still alive, so that means that turret probably will be coming back up.
Oh, golly gee, yeah, that's going to be super unfortunate. Now it's going to be the great option coming out. Twice does find a kill. However, Arc comes around the far side of boxes, and 2 will fall. Zenigma Alpha going to win that first round.
Yeah, and they just played it really well on the defense. You saw, as you said, the Sheriff came out early. Unfortunately, Ollie couldn't find anything with it. Eventually, I believe their teammate did pick it up. It was their Sova Swish who was able to get a kill of it. So you lose one early on, then you're kind of stuck in this awkward corner where you're in a short and there's really nowhere to go. You lose the spike, and you're able to get a few on the way out, but it's just not a fight you want to force. You lose it, and you lose the first round now. You're going to be trying to make something work. You do see some Sheriff and Marshal buys, so they are going to buy what they they're going to spend what they have here.
Yeah, this is going to be super dangerous. Ali had that Marshall, didn't have the best luck with the Sheriff earlier, but maybe playing a little bit slower, a little bit calmer of a pace could really work super well here. Limit Tester, Barrage, gonna send the Wolf out early, trying to get some info, but it is immediately put down with a bullet to the head. Now that 5v5, we're in one of those situations where everybody wants to play that long game, but somebody's got to go down eventually.
Playing so patiently here. Oh, can they peek down B? Nope, gonna not play that angle just yet. Rotations have not been swapped up too much in Limit Tester. On the side of Zenigma has Almo now. Reminder about Scott. Yes, she does heal. She cannot heal herself, though, so that damage is permanent, and that Hot Hands could do a lot more.
Yeah, Reaper, though, already able to find one. Looks for the second, but will go down to Swish. Here comes that trade again. Francis puts down Swish. Ali with the Marshall. Making a back. 1 HP Limit Tester around the back. Only able to find 1 kill before being taken out by Flare. Here comes some action now from Ark. Flare finds a double. Needs to find a triple, but it is the KJ nade that picks up a team ace for Zenigma Alpha in round 2.
Nano Swarm coming in clutch. I think they would have won that fight out anyway because he had a Spectre going to a Sheriff, and unless you find that one tap, it's going to be very hard to win it, but the team ace. We talk about this quite a bit. It is very exciting to see. I've never seen it this early on in a game. I've never seen it 2 rounds in. And Zenigma, they do lose a lot of members along the way, which means they're going to have to kind of go for an awkward buy here. As you see, there's an Operator and a Bucky. And they're going to be going into a full array of weapons. So this tells me they're really relying on Reaper here to get the damage done early.
This may be the first round in my Valorant casting career that I've seen an Operator and a Bucky fought on the same team in the same round. That's a courageous move, to say the least. A round 3 op is courageous in its own right. This is going to be a super dangerous thing, incredibly high risk, high reward, but if you don't get any kills, if you give that op over to the opposing team, that's going to be really tough, especially because statistically speaking, Winthrop is supposed to win this round.
Yeah, this is the bonus round. They do have the better weapons overall, but they are running into that Operator. I think the biggest thing is the economy of the Jet kind of goes into question. Maybe they're close enough to that Bladestorm where if they die, they don't need to buy a weapon next round because they can just pop the ultimate, but they lose this weapon, they give it up, and they have nothing left next round, and the rest of the team can buy. You're just putting yourselves at a big disadvantage.
Speaking of big disadvantage, Ali about to walk into a 1v3. Goes for the curveball, but nobody's really there to get curved. 1 tap from Ark turns into 2. The 2-for-1 trade in of Zenigma. Flare able to find Reaper, though. The Operator is down. Doesn't even get to fire a bullet. Able to tie things up, but Chris around the corner puts down Flare. West tries again. Swish finds Limit Tester, and all of a sudden, it is a Sova versus the world. Trazix has the Operator on the back of sight.
Spike planted.
Might be able to pick this up. The Astra less than 10 HP.
One enemy remaining.
And instead they're just going to go for the firefight, and they find the second shot. No, they cannot. Swish gets 3, and I gotta question that play just a little bit. You do have the Sheriff, so you can try to take that fight a little bit more mid-range, but you had your Recon bolt, I think, back up. You also had the Owl drone still online, so you had all the information you could have ever needed there to try to clutch that up. Instead, you just kind of go in blindly.
Yeah, that was... I'm still not particularly fond of the op on round 3. I think that's an incredibly risky move and one that clearly did not pay off. I get it, you're up 2-0, you feel confident in your choice to get the op, but all things considered, I mean, that's a round you're supposed to lose.
It's still not bad overall, because you get 3, but you dig up the Operator, and that was your biggest concern. I think it's a bit harder to use the Operator here on the attacker, really anywhere except on get the setup. I was going to say, if you just try to peek blindly, it could be really bad, but there, they get so much time to go around for that swing. Works out perfectly, and now Winthrop up 1.
Yeah, Flare, that was just perfect. Not only took down a Jet with their own Operator, but also got rid of the Bladestorm in the blink of an eye. So Winthrop, they're really looking to tie this up. They've got 3 ultimates to work with if they need them. And, all right, there's one of them. So the run it back is going to be making an appearance here from Ali. Might be able to do some action, and there it is as well. Chris will be taken offline. Run it back already worth it. It looks like, twice will find Trazix as well. Winthrop, they're up 5v2 here in round 4.
Even if they'd gotten the run it back elimination, they still have had to deal with the Phoenix once more. This is so good for them. They can plant, and they just kind of have to sit down and chill. This is where Cypher is at its best. The Cypher on the side of Winthrop is weak, but when you're on attack, denying the retake. This is what you're made for, and it looks like they're just going to deny everything as Zenigma not even going to bother trying to recontest this.
I'm glad C-Site is getting so much love so far. I feel like this map's usually A-Site just over and over and over, but we have visited C-Site quite a few times. I'm glad to see it. Yeah, it looks like Zenigma's just going to wait this one out, maybe wait for a couple of stragglers on bomb explosion when they're trying to get out of the explosion there, but all things considered, Winthrop, this is a round win no matter what.
Not playing the same angle. Ooh, that's not good.
Not good at all. Winthrop getting aggressive when they really don't have to, but if they can find the kills, that's going to really make up for it. There's going to be one, and there's the second. So yeah, it really does work out at the end of the way. West with the longest rotation, the longest flank in the world, still able to find some value off of it.
There you saw Winthrop just going to be playing both sides of the coin. And originally, Zenigma, they were holding both angles. Arc was looking for the rotation behind, but then once the noise was made in front of them, they both turned around. Perfect pincer approach. That round is pretty much in hand regardless, but Winthrop going to be very happy with what happens there. It's just perfect. You get everything you want. You get the spike plant, you only lose one along the way, and you get a full team wipe.
Yeah, a full team wipe. I mean, yeah, like you said, you get everything you wanted, you got your cake, and you get to eat it too. This is going to be 2 ultimates at the ready versus 1 Cosmic Divide from Zenigma. They're on defense, so it kind of fits nicely into the playstyle they're trying to bring to the table, but all things considered, Winthrop, Blade Storm, Hunter's Fury, I mean, those basically tear through Cosmic Divide like paper.
Nice! Like paper, there it is, but it's traded
Spike
out.
Down mid.
Full flare. Gonna have to go for a shorty play, not able to back up. That spike is down, but can they actually do anything off of it? No, they're not looking the right way. 4v3 when all said and done, and only 1 weapon is picked up by Zenigma.
Yeah, only 1 weapon going to be picked up. There's going to be, I don't want to call it devastating, but you're down 4-3. You've got a weapon. You've just got to hit quite a few shots to really make this worth it. It looks like Winthrop going to be rotating around into A. This could be a good opportunity.
It's just, can you get more out of it? You're able to get an ult out. That'd be huge, but only limit tester is there. You see the rest of the team go. 1 last person alive is all the way at C.
Last player standing.
I'll do 1 left now. The Killjoy.
My microphone on accident.
Chris trying to do something here, but only has a sheriff and a turret.
They're
caught out by the recon dart. This is really bad Septilence.
Yeah, I think Chris has just got to tuck I mean, yeah, honestly, you might as well not even save. You've got a sheriff, just go for the hero play. Try to take as many out as you can. And unfortunately, it's 0, but you still went for it, and you're only down by a single round.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, at that point, you might as well just stand tall. You get more credits for actually going back to spawn mandatorily. Maybe you get some extra credits on the way out. Maybe you force Winthrop to buy again, but this is the round where it's really important. Just give up the operator earlier on. That's led to kind of a snowball effect where Winthrop has now won 3 in a row. They have a slightly better ult economy, but if you're able to hit your shots early on, that ult economy really won't matter. The biggest thing is just denying them the point, because if they get the Cosmic Divide or the Hunter's Fury up, that would be devastating for Zenigma. So Winthrop, really their win condition right now is just to get the spike planted.
Absolutely. That is the win condition. Like you said, you want to give yourself those additional credits. You want to be able to keep the dream alive. Winthrop now playing a, I want to say playing a slow game, but this is relative to the pace they've been playing pretty much every round up to this point, where they don't just charge in, they kind of wait, look for an easy opportunity and picking them off. So you might see something from here, but no flare. Caught out by the Hunter's Fury. Has to updraft dash away, able to survive it. Does take quite a lot of damage in the process.
That's 1 ultimate off the board for Zenigma. Winthrop, they're going to be happy about that. They don't lose anyone. Now they can just push up. They could use the Cosmic Divide early if they wanted to just try to create space, but instead they want to take this C point, which you said earlier, this is where they want to be. It's another time where they're going to go there.
I hate like that we have walls, because I'm always like, how do you not know they're there? I'm like, oh wait, you can't. You can't see through the wall. You don't know what I know. But now Trazix is going to shoot through the wall, able to find twice there with that wallbang kill. Winthrop finding himself in a tie scenario here in terms of players online. The Soba's still alive. The Jet's still at the ready. Blair getting aggressive, middle of sight with an operator. Not something you see often, and they're going to pay the price of their life for it. Chris puts him down. The operator is available, and now it's going to be that 3v2. The Zenigma, they really just came in, they kicked the door down, and they stormed in.
Fury is online yet. That's what I was waiting for. They take out Trazix in the meantime. This is just going to delay so much time, and it's going to do damage. And they haven't even gotten half of it down.
1 enemy remaining.
They've still got enough time, and now there's only a Sova left for the Dream. They could go for the defuse here, try to farm that half, but Swish is really going to struggle to do much. Utility available, but
a little recognition is nice now and then.
Hello?
Saying something about struggling? It's a little bit less than struggling. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, when they line up like that, it's pretty easy not to struggle.
I don't know. I wish, you know, we've got a great observers. They're doing their best. I really wish we could have seen exactly how they lined up there. because you got the operator, right? So you basically want that person to be the one not defusing. They're the one who's going to be trying to go for that shot because they are able to get that one hit and it's over. But instead, they just go for the. I think the thing is they just went for the defuse too late, and that allowed Swish to stay alive for so long that finally they could set it up.
That was wild. I haven't seen a kill like that in ages. They just stood right in front of one another in a line there and really took advantage of it. Limit Tester now going to be able to find Flare with the Ghost early on in the round. This is a great opportunity for Zenigma to get closer to tying up the series, but Trazix is going to find West as well. Twice gets a counter kill, but still down in the numbers department. You really got to be able to turn this one around, pick up some positive momentum afterward. Oh, no way! Ali goes down. I mean, I've got to say, Trazix really picking it up here in round 7. Just able to find a triple kill in a matter of seconds.
It's one of the newest members. Now it's a 4v1.
Oh!
3v1. But now you're at red health bar, so you're down to 47. It's going to be really difficult to win this one, but you might just be looking to trade at this rate.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll all stand up in a nice little line for Swish. It wouldn't be the first time that we've seen that happen tonight. I mean, that still blows my mind. You've got the recon dart, but at the same time, you use it, you give up your location in the same breath. Yeah, so Limit Tester going to pick up that thrifty round win for Zenigma there. That's going to be great for their economy.
Zenigma there, losing the round that it seemed like they had in hand, winning the round where they're only buying sheriffs, you know, it writes itself, right? The story there is told out beautifully, and this game, only a 1-round lead for Winthrop. Very, very close for Zenigma. Now they can buy. They also got a bunch of weapons off the ground from Winthrop, who fell. Now the alt bank kind of flipped on its head. Yes, Winthrop, they still have one more ultimate as they get that run it back online. But I would say the most dangerous ultimates that set up team plays, the Hunter's Fury and the Cosmic Divide, they were used 2 rounds ago. So now there isn't as much to worry about.
Yeah, 100%. That slow game now. It looks like Winthrop, they want to engage, but they're going to be doing it a little bit slower than normal. West getting ready to come around the corner. It seems that Limit Tester has that flash at the ready. Not quite able to pick up the kill yet, but able to find that trade. Now Swish that 1-for-1, but it's going to be Flare who really cracks this fight back open in favor of Winthrop.
I know exactly
where. Run it back from Ali. Doesn't quite pick up the momentum that we needed, but, you know, you used it, you made some space. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Spikes planted, you've got the numbers advantage, and Zenigma, they've got 2 ults. Maybe you lock down here, but I still don't think that's a great idea.
Lockdown to a Cosmic Divide would actually be the key, but now you lose Chris. That is completely gone as a plan. I was going to say that use the lockdown and then use the Cosmic Divide. Get a free defuse could work out, but now it's a 4v1.
A 4v1, and Cosmic Divide, as pretty as it is, not exactly notorious for the damage it deals, right? And at this point, you're going to need a lot of damage to take down 4 players in one breath. So Winthrop, they've probably got a 5th round win here coming into the end of round 8, excuse me. I just can't wait to see what happens moving forward. Zenigma, they look so strong after that thrifty round, and Arc picks up twice. Can you do that 3 more times in 30 HP? Probably not. Swish picks up that kill in the end of the round.
We'll have to see how this economy equals out because they didn't have to spend that much last round, so they might be able to buy here. It looks like most of them can, but not all of them, so we'll have to see what decision they make. Reaper actually has a lot, and I want to talk about Reaper in that last engagement. I believe this pause will only be for a split second from what we've been told from our observer. You saw there was a great flash, a great guiding light that came out from the sky on the side of Zenigma, was able to get 2. There's no follow-up. They just were not quick enough on the draw, so I'm not sure if that's a disconnection or they were just too far away to start off, but they do that. That's a clean 2-0 trade. There's no trade. In fact, it's just 2 kills and everyone lives. It's a good day. But instead, kind of awkward as you saw because they peeked in and then 2 were flashed. They didn't know who to focus. They kind of just shot around both. They do get 1, but then finally by the time Reaper gets there, it's over, and then they have to run back and the site's already taken over. So just the timing there. That could have been a really great play that set Zenigma up. But that miscommunication cost them, and I'm wondering again, like, is this part of having these new starting members of the roster? Could that have kind of just changed how things are explained or talked about that led to that miscommunication there?
Yeah, well, you know, that's what I mentioned right at the beginning, is I'm not particularly a fan of subbing people in this late in the season because that team synergy that you've been building for all of these weeks is just kind of taken away in a moment's notice. It's really a difficult thing to turn around and engage on appropriately. Subbing somebody into a slot where somebody completely different used to be is a very difficult thing to come off the back of. But I've got to say, I think you mentioned that Trazix is a newer player on the side of Zenigma Alpha. Really, I mean, in my opinion, one of the strongest in the game so far.
Absolutely has been holding it down. but it's not enough yet just to get their team up ahead. They do have an Ares to their name, so not a full save, but a save nonetheless. Can't go for the full buy here because of that economy that the team has. They do have ultimates. For the first time, they have that ultimate advantage. I really want to see that lockdown, Cosmic Divide, tandem ultimate use come out eventually. And they got to do it, I think, when they have the numbers.
Right.
They just deny the plane, honestly. Like, you don't have to do it for the post plane. You could just stop them from getting onto the point and then force them into a rotation they don't want to make.
Yeah, now Ali going to be forced into a bit of an action-making move. A bio-nade comes through, not a bio-nade, a regular nade comes through from Killjoy, but Hunter's Fury now, a very bold choice on the side of Zenigma Alpha. They're trying to clear the point. Unfortunately, looks like they're not able to find much with it. A little bit of damage here and there, but the spike plant comes through nonetheless. Now we've got the okay, I love that. A 5v5 on the board, everybody's alive. You go for that lockdown, that's going to force all of Winthrop off the point.
And this is where you could do the Cosmic Divide, but you gotta know where the spike is first, which they don't. And it looks like they're gonna use it now, so the only damage taken there is fall damage, but do they go for the defuse? No, they're gonna try to bait them through the wall.
Honestly, I'm not sure. Okay, that perfect execution, absolutely flawless. I didn't even get to say it, but I was going to say, is there the opportunity where they're not going to go through without a flash, right? They're not going to go through without making sure without making sure that Zenigma is distracted one way or another.
And you talked about the Sky versus the Phoenix. Well, the curveball this time is going to be better than the Guiding Light. In that scenario, 3 kills found off immediately from it. And that's why I was saying do not use it as a retake. Do not use that lockdown once the spike is planted, because even with the Cosmic Divide combo, they're going to know exactly what the spike is. They're going to have a great idea of where you're playing around. So you think you're cutting off their sightline, but they're going to have enough information to get a good recontest. And there they win it pretty cleanly.
Yeah, I loved that play. That was absolutely amazing to see that action coming through on the side of Winthrop. It was courageous, honestly. They completely relied on the fact that flash worked. But like you said, even if the flash didn't, they knew the location of the spike. All they had to do was spray and pray. And that probably would have turned it around all the same. Flare and Swish, just the duo of a lifetime so far, making a world of difference and more. Arc able to come through and get that action as well. I want to see Arc get a Bucky kill. I haven't seen a Bucky kill in ages, but I think their location may be a little more known than Winthrop is letting on.
Cosmic Divide, gonna be gone, anticipates. Still 2 ultimates. They do that huge advantage, so they might not even need it. And, I mean, this seems like this is gonna be the round Winthrop takes that lead even further, gets a guarantee to be going into halftime. And really all that Zenigma can do is try to trade out.
Yeah, that lead into halftime is so unbelievably important, and they do find that a couple of more folks go down than maybe they would have liked, but 3 of you do get to live to tell the tale. We've been holding on to these ults on the side of Winthrop for quite a while. I don't even recall when we saw the Hunter's Fury, and I don't believe we've seen the Blade Storm yet either. This has just been something that they've really been holding back on a little bit, and I think, especially the Blade Storm, like that's a rather fast-charging ultimate if you're playing the duelist the way you're supposed to be, which Flare is doing to a T. So I think I want to see this Blade Storm a little more often.
Well, I mean, I guess the question is, they're trying to save it for a rainy day, right? They're using it for a situation where they don't have a weapon because they can't really engage enough unless they go to B to make it worthwhile right off the get-go. Hunter's Fury, they used it, I want to say, like, maybe round 4, round 5, so it's been a while. They built it back up. They can use it for the post-plant scenario to stop a defuse from coming through. So, yeah, they've been holding on for the Blade Storm especially for a long time, but just the scenario where they've felt comfortable using it hasn't arisen,
right? And
they have a lead, so they don't have to force it.
I think the funniest thing about this map is it's obviously got 3 sites on it. I feel like people only go to B in times of convenience, where they're like, oh, well, we're already here. Nobody pushes for B site as often as I wish they would, but Limit Tester now is going to be able to find Swish, giving Zenigma a huge opportunity. That Hunter's Fury we were talking about, taken offline, that could be great here. Another trade coming through twice. We'll be able to put down Chris.
I know
that numbers lead immediately ripped out from underneath. And the neural theft coming out from Winthrop as well. That can be great here. They're going to know the location of every player alive on the side of Zenigma.
Trailblazer coming in. Finds a little bit of information. How do you re-engage this? We need to find out the site. They have the weakest one. Not sure if they have that information, but again, they're going to trust this Guiding Light.
Limit Tester goes in twice, amplifying the kill. Reaper picks up twice. Radlix, there we go, gets the wallbang kill onto Ali, and Reaper, oh my goodness, Reaper turns it around with a 3K.
It was a great way to take over the point there. Sure, they lose 2 right off the bat, but it allows the rotation to come in from everyone else. One of them came in from garage. No one was expecting that, because everyone was looking towards the defender side, and you could see, like, even though they were flashed, they were all looking in different directions, and that allowed them just to focus them down one by one, and then there was only one person left. They were going down C long, and it's kind of the best guess of where someone might be once you've cleared out everything else. So finally, Zenigma able to get back on the board, and they could make this a 5-7 game, which only means 2 rounds separate you. You win the pistol, you win the next one. Everything's tied up, so Zenigma on defense, expecting them to be a little bit down. The attackers are better here, and they're still holding up pretty well.
Yeah, a 5-7 round, especially if you win the next pistol round. I mean, you've basically got it tied up, right? If you win the pistol round, then statistically, you're probably going to win that next round, and you can tie things up 7-7. So I completely agree. Zenigma, all they need to do is put this round away. They've popped the Blade Storm. They've just got to survive a Blade Storm, a Hunter's Fury, and to run it back. Pish posh, right? Easy money. So let's see what they can bring to the table here. I'm really curious. Ali in the back line here just walks through C-Site completely uncontested, puts down 2 in a matter of seconds there. That is going to be crucial here.
You think that would be using the run it back, right? Now just runs in, normal life. Now's gonna use the run it back after the plane has come through. And Ollie might have just single-handedly basically taken this round out of their hands, but Travic is taken out. So, yep, that's it. That's a flawless round.
Yeah, a flawless round and a beautiful one at that. All the celebratory ultimates making an appearance at the end of the first half. Now swapping sides. Zenigma, they're going to be, a little more in their wheelhouse, so to speak. Like we talked about, this is an attacker-sided map, but the Cypher twice. The Cypher built for defense, so he's in his kind of stomping grounds as well.
Yeah, I would say that Zenigma, this is an attacker-sided map. In this composition they have is good, a hybrid comp, so it can work on attack or defense, but the fact that they don't have another second duelist makes it like much harder to really take advantage of the fact that you're on attack now. And right. Cypher, like you said, in their playground now. This is where they are great, and they can either take over C or A completely and basically hold it down by themselves unless there's a 5v1 approach. So this is really where Winthrop will thrive, more so than Zenigma, and they already have this huge lead, 4 rounds, only need 5 more to get it done.
Which is insane to consider. The difference between 8 and 13 is obviously only 5, but that feels like so long, especially if Zenigma wins this pistol round. They can really start to flip momentum, but Ali will find that opening frag onto Trazix twice. Waiting patiently, has no idea he's about to peek into a 1v3. Pays the price of his life for it, gets a little overzealous, and Chris finds that opening kill. Reaper picks down Ali, but West finds one flare, picks up another. Winthrop, they've got some great accuracy coming through. 2v2 tie-up in the reload from West is going to be just enough to give Zenigma that numbers advantage.
1 enemy remaining.
1 left now, so 1v1.
Spike planted.
Has the spike. They're going to go for the plant. Arnie gets down, so now Swish in the spot where they have to be the one to re-engage. They do have that recon bolt back up. They also have some shock darts at their disposal, so a bit more long-range weaponry here from those abilities, but they're not going to get any sort of info now. They're actually getting rotated on.
Probably, yeah, I was going to say, probably going to bait the defuse here. Has no idea where Reaper's at. Reaper nailed the rotation. I mean, I would never expect somebody to be coming out of the way that I think I already cleared. Reaper, great accuracy there, picks up that pistol round, and Zenigma, if they can make this 8-6, I mean, that is unbelievably winnable.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have loved to have that last round before the swap in hand, then it would be tied up, but 8-6, not too shabby, especially when this is a better side overall for this map. Again, composition might not be the most optimal, more for both sides than one specifically, but still great statistics here to back you up that you should be able to take a few more rounds here than on the defense. You gotta remember, Zenigma, they're playing for a bit more here tonight. This is their playoff live on the line. Winthrop, they still have something on the line here. Seeding, very important, but Zenigma, I feel like they're gonna be going all out with this, and they're not gonna be giving up anytime soon.
Yeah, like you said, Zenigma, I feel like they've got a lot more on the table than Winthrop. Winthrop, like you said, seed placement is of course important, but this is essentially life or death for Zenigma. They've got to win this series. If they lose Haven, the beauty of it is that this is a best of 3. You've got at least Ascent afterward. Arc gets a little over-aggressive with that shorty, but West gets over-aggressive with the shorty, and Arc is able to find that kill. So Zenigma, they're up 5-3 already. This is great, but we've seen them lose this exact scenario before.
Yeah, but there is still a little bit of lady luck on their side. If UBC loses and they also lose and it's the same round differential or map score, it's not going to matter because they have the head-to-head winning that match against earlier on, but twice. Take the
One
first one
enemy
out.
remaining.
There's a lot on the line, and they're not going to even leave it up the chance. They're just going to win that round outright. 6-8, like you said, it's come through, but you know what's coming up next? It's the bonus round.
The bonus round, like you said, that is going to be the perfect way for Winthrop to flip this momentum back. Zenigma, that kill in particular from Limit Tester, I didn't even know that Swish was back there. I didn't know that Swish was over there until Limit Tester put them down. So just great game awareness, perhaps a stroke of pure luck, who knows? But either way, just some very strong and effective gameplay coming out from Zenigma so far.
One thing to know is we talked a lot about their new roster pickups. Currently, those are the two at the bottom of their own leaderboard. Not to say they haven't gotten some kills here and there. They have. They've been putting in the work, but we're gonna keep, that's gonna keep coming into question with this matchup. Was it the right call to bring in two new players this late into the season? And now that's their star player Reaper. They're falling.
Zenigma finding themselves down in an unfortunate series of events so far, but we've seen them turn these actions around prior. Winthrop is going to be able to keep this momentum moving, but the run it back hasn't been nearly as effective as we want it to.
And how do you use this here? It's a lot easier to use an attack because then you get a lot more info. I guess you can use it the same on defense. Just run down a sight line and then hope you find someone. Maybe you get a trade and you can get back and get a kill and you get back to where you were before. But you got to be a lot more careful on the defense. And again, more trades coming through. Winthrop still on top though.
Oh, West with a great single tap there, but Ark, puts down two of them back to back, keeping the dream alive for Zenigma. However, they've got to play this one safe because they're in that 2v2. I think popping the run it back here would be the worst idea, and there it is. Going to be coming out from Ali. Even if you die, you get recon, and that's what this is all about. Ark finds that kill, but now they know Ark is going to be guarding that spike with their life.
Spike planted.
Has a weapons advantage. We're running into an Astra and a Killjoy. Two very good defensive heroes. You have a Cosmic Divide.
Last player standing.
Probably not,
One
but
enemy
you have the
remaining.
numbers advantage. Now you win it out in Arc. You know, earlier we were talking about those lineups that happened for the side of Winthrop. Able to get 2 kills here on the C point, back to back. And Arc said, you know what? It's time that I collect. Get a bit of a refund. I'm gonna get 2 kills here. Get 4 when all is said and done.
Time to go
We're able to take the rounds, and all of a sudden, Winthrop again only has a 1-round lead. Last time they were able to stabilize, get ahead for a little bit, but they don't have the weaponry this time.
Yeah, Ark going from very middle of the road to top frag on the team in a single round of 4K coming through. Very impressive. Great boost for momentum. And there's only 1 round between the teams at one point. Winthrop was what, 8-4? And now they've come all the way down 8-7. The Bladestorm from Reaper is going to be an early one. Didn't have the most success last time around. Ark going to be able to take out Flare. Here comes some more action onto Ali. Oh, what a shot from Ali. The spike down in mid as well. Limit Tester picks up the kill, grabs the spike. I wouldn't be surprised to see a B playing here.
The Cypher on B, which is not where to expect the Cypher to be in.
Over
You and I were both expecting the Cypher pick to be really useful. I don't think we've really seen that so far. It just seems like every time they've been set up somewhere, that's the opposite of where Zenigma decides to go. So I'm not sure if their psychics are just really lucky in that regard, but Cypher has not been finding the same amount of points now that we've been expecting, and meanwhile, Zenigma, they're going to use a Bladestorm to try to carry out this round.
That's why I stopped playing Cypher, because every time I set up on a site, they would always go to the other one, and I just got sick of it, so I started playing Duelists instead. That way I could always play the game. But, you know, they're definitely trying to make this work. A great lineup there, going to be able to deal some damage onto Zenigma Alpha's Chris, or Killjoy player Chris. Still able to plant the spike, luckily enough, but Swish from the high ground, going to be able to snatch a lot of reconnaissance, knows where a lot of folks are at, but only as a sheriff to tell the tale.
62 health too, so not exactly the fullest health pool. Don't really want to peek into anything. I'm gonna try to go for a pincer approach. Gets people out. You do catch out Reaper again, but then immediately switch ball.
Yeah, that trade out just comes through in favor of
Zenigma.
West has the Marshal, and oh no! Has the Marshal, it has to be the Sheriff, unfortunately not able to find it. Chris will pick up a 3K though, so that Killjoy taking a lot of damage early in the round. Clearly not a deficit.
Not enough of a deficit to keep them down. It allows now for that lockdown to come through. And this is interesting. So we've seen 2 timeouts, 2 tactical pauses come out, and both of them have been from Zenigma. The first time was when they were starting to lose a bit of that lead. They were falling. That lead had already been lost, but they were, you know, just falling more and more, and they were really trying to get a grasp. Here, they actually have finally tied things up. Now they're back on even footing. This is the first time since round 5 that they've been tied up, and yet they still want to talk things out. This is Very interesting decision. I'm actually a big fan of it because you're like, hey, okay, now we got the lead. Last time was a save round. What do we do here? How do we use our ultimates? And they have that Cosmic Divide lockdown combination once more. A big, I would say the biggest combination of ultimates in the game currently. And they did not execute it well last time. This time they got to nail it.
Yeah, 100%. This timeout is definitely one of those, okay, we fought back, we made it back, we're tooth and nail, we're ready to tie things up, we're ready to take the lead. And we've seen Zenigma win 4 in the time that Winthrop has won 0. So this has really been Zenigma's game for the taking here in the second half. I just hope they can keep the momentum moving forward.
Again, we need to find some sort of success from the Cypher on the side of Winthrop. That's really the key to this. Twice, overall, been a pretty good player throughout this game, but the ability usage has not been enough here. I mean, I don't think we've seen one tripwire yet that's been deployed to spy cam. I don't know if it's found enough recon just yet. Flare does have an operator online to shut anyone down who comes to here, tries to go through C-Long.
I love the operator gameplay. I wish we were getting a couple more kills with them, but of course those aren't the players' faults. They're just trying their darndest. Flare might be able to find something around B here, but Chris, indecisive for the time being, stuck between Garage and B site. It looks like they're going to be waiting for the rest of the team on which way to decide to go. I'm excited. I'm faithful. I'm hopeful that Zenigma can really turn this around. And by golly, what a way to back up my point there. Flare will be taken offline by Chris in the blink of an eye.
Now, operator is gone officially, so there really isn't as much of a worry about trying to blindly peek around a corner. Now, the question is, what do you do? You've been sitting on with this spike for a little bit. You still have those two ultimates. We talked about the Cosmic Divide and the Lockdown. You haven't really cleared out any points. Only kill you've gotten is in mid. Not a lot of recon from that alone. Looks like they're going to try to make their way towards A, and there's a Phoenix waiting to meet them.
Ali on the Phoenix going to have to make an absolute world of difference. Maybe they give us the hot hands of a lifetime and pick up a 4K or something insane, but
30
Ali in
seconds
for a very rude awakening. It's not one. Oh, that would have been insane, but Ali does get the 1-for-1 trade. Swish finds Tragic, but Chris does give Zenigma that player's advantage, taking out West in the final moments of that engagement.
Shock dart.
The pings go down. Shock Dart is in the land, but the spike is planted. And I gotta clear out the point as well as hell. Cosmic Divide is used, but it's not the best position in my opinion.
I wholeheartedly agree. Maybe they're going for a flank around into the heavens, but oh no, they're bunkering up in hell, but twice just clay pigeons, fish in a barrel.
This is what I dislike about Ascent when just you pack into Boathouse. It's the same situation here. Sure, you do have the best angle, but if someone swings into you and you're not ready for it, it's just going to be disastrous. You don't even cut off heaven, so there's still the high ground that can be controlled by your opponent. And there you're actually kind of limiting yourself because you have no idea when someone's going to try to go for you, and you also have no idea if someone's just going to try to defuse the spike. So that Cosmic Divide, I like the timing of it, I don't like the positioning of it, and that was a big part of the reason why Zenigma lost that round.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to say I'm not particularly fond of that tripwire there on B site. I feel like that's not a primary engagement spot where you're waiting for someone to walk through. Perhaps they're a better Cypher player than I am. They understand something that I don't, but I feel like tripwires should be a little more in the front line of things.
Here's the thing though, I agree with you. Like, in general, that might not be the easiest way to catch someone out if they are going on that, but if they are going on that rotation, then you immediately catch out a flank, and that whole idea of catching someone by surprise, it's gone. So you're not really playing for the immediate fight, you're playing for the long game and that sort of positioning of the tripwire. Whether it actually gets value or not, we will have to wait and find out. For the meantime, they're going to play it the way they want to, and it's enough to at least take the lead once more.
Trazik's taking a lot of damage. Ali, luckily enough, the one to take damage. You can heal back up, whether it be a hot hands or a firewall. It's not the end of the world for this Phoenix. But instead, Ali falling back while not utilizing any abilities to heal up. We hear the lockdown coming through as well as, the counter Hunter's Fury Swish does not find the lockdown. No, did find the lockdown, and also found the Jet in the same breath. A great opportunity there. Speaking of opportunities, Flare on the high grounds with the op. Might be able to find a kill here. And there it is.
2-for-1 special, then just Fury. Now you're able to get one more. The spike is planted, but there isn't much you can do.
The Tester takes out Flare, but will fall to West. This is just was another opportunity where Winthrop, they had a very fish in a barrel mentality, just storming in and shooting anybody from Zenigma that showed their faces. Winthrop now going to find themselves up 10-8 on the series.
Just so many ultimates were used there. I think that was
4?
3 on the side of Winthrop.
4 in total, I believe. Yeah, Winthrop used Hunter's Fury, Run It Back, Cosmic Divide, and then there was the lockdown from Zenigma.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right. 4 in total. Winthrop not getting the better of that bargain, but able to get the round, able to wipe the board of Zenigma, and Zenigma now cannot buy, so it looks super close. And it seems like every time Zenigma's able to just distance the gap, immediately Winthrop pulls it back apart, double digits, 3 rounds until they are all said and done. This defense, it hasn't been perfect from Winthrop, but they now have what's almost guaranteed to be a free round win for them unless something goes horribly wrong, and we did see Zenigma already win one thrifty round.
Yeah, we've seen it happen. We know the cards are in the deck, so to speak. Flare going to be guarding B site with the op. I'm not particularly fond of this site in particular to have an operator, but I get it. There's a lot of natural cover that can keep you hidden a little bit more consistently, and it looks like that op may not be too particularly helpful as the rotation comes in towards C site. Reaper going to take some damage down to 12 HP. 7 now, lives to tell the tale, but is in critical condition if I've ever seen it. This is going to be a tough one to come back from. Oh, especially with 2 falling on the side of Zenigma, the Jet being one of them, Reaper down. It's going to be that 5v3 matchup, and 0 ultimates ready for Zenigma.
Also, no smoke planted just yet. They're rotating around. They lose Trazix, and they do trade out there. So 2v4, and the dust settles. But look at where the spike is coming. Yeah, it's Limit Tester actually is able to get one, maybe second. They're separate. That's the biggest thing that I was trying to say. They're very far apart from each other. The rotation actually might be in time. No, it's not. Twice is able to take out Limit Tester, but now they might have no idea that Arc is going to be coming this way.
30
yeah, Arc that flanked on C long, able to find twice. There's 2 more. Maybe you get the spike plant, but it's going to be really difficult for Arc to win this one.
I just try to win out through kills. I don't know. At this point, you're running out of time to plant, and you're getting surrounded.
Oh! Forgot about the op.
That's it, right? That's kind of like the exclamation point. You know, you need to win a 2v1. You've got members. Just
here.
Let the op at an angle and hope that you lane the shot. There they do. That was actually pretty winnable for Arc, even in a not super advantageous situation. But if they played a little bit faster with the plant, they could have just forced Winthrop to have to come on to point, but they hesitated. We've seen this a few times from Sigma. They hesitate with the plant because they're worried about getting killed in the middle of it. Because of that waste of time, they actually end up getting eliminated before they get the plant off at all.
Oh, there goes the Owl Drone, so they know Flare is just down C long. That's probably going to be enough to scare some folks away. I know that it looks like they had 1 operator on the side of Zenigma as well, but just that general pre-setup advantage when you're using the opt on a long site like that is you don't have to ADS if you're already doing it. You can just fire that shot instead. Winthrop, they're only 2 rounds away. This very well could be our penultimate round of Haven. We've seen them really get aggressive so far, give us some great gameplay up to this point. Ali caught out just a bit, has to use the firewall in an attempt to stay alive, but Limit Tester, with that fire through, is able to find that headshot and gives Zenigma that player's advantage.
The Hunter's Fury, so if Zenigma gets the plant down, they've got a great way to recontest it without being on point, but it's this entry. Can they get in? They do. Can they hold it though? I feel like every time they go for the plant, they lose 1 or 2 members along the way.
Shock
Dart from Swish, not able to find the purchase onto Arc quite like they wanted to. Spike has been planted, a great opportunity for Zenigma to almost kiss those double digits, but not quite yet. Twice from the back, might be able to find a kill, but wasn't able to land those bullets. West, able to find Chris up close and personal there, looking for a secondary kill onto Limit Tester, who's able to find it, goes for the 3rd, but Arc will find the kill. It's going to be twice with the Neural Theft. 2v1, it's going to be really difficult to engage.
Yeah, it looks like they're looking for the person in front of them instead of the person that might be behind them at this point, but the way this has been played by Zenigma, they've split themselves up trying to play the best angle, and they're able to hold it long enough. They don't even lose anyone along the way. Zenigma staying alive, that penultimate round not going to come through just yet, and Zenigma get to fight another day. Now
they left the op.
They did leave the op, and I think the reasoning for that is they just don't feel comfortable enough taking these blind peeks with it, because you need a moment to settle with it, right? If you just fire away, it's a hip fire shot essentially, because that's how Valorant works. You cannot move while shooting, or your spray is just going to be off the charts and not in a good way. So to leave it behind, no one gets an operator this round.
Yeah.
I've
Something
got
I had to
your
learn. It took me a
trail.
long time to learn that when I first started playing Valorant, that you cannot be moving and firing, because the only other first-person shooter I've played let me do that. So when I was no longer allowed, it was very difficult to turn that around. But the Cosmic Divide coming out from Zenigma, they are going to hard push into C-side, it seems. They're going to go for a pretty aggressive plant. Oh, Flare picks up that first kill onto Reaper, so now Zenigma, they lose one of their top frags, and it's going to be really difficult to keep this engagement twice. Oh no, 14 HP!
14 HP and a dream behind the Cosmic Divide.
Oh!
That time it does not work out.
Devastating, truly. Had twice just pulled the trigger like so many times. There's that great opportunity to get those kills. Probably could have found 3 collateral, but you know, just did not know. Now the running back coming out from Ali with some help from Swish in the back. Flare puts down Limit Tester. Here's some more action around the corner, but it's Chris and Ark who are on the cleanup crew right now. Ali gets forced out of that running back, has to find one, I mean, not even one full kill between the HP left on Zenigma Alpha. Location given away. Might go for the bait defuse. I don't think he's aware they went down C long.
Well, we'll have to find out one way or another eventually, right? Ollie gonna have to hit one time, and I was gonna say that that's not gonna be enough to kill them, but the follow-up is. They actually, if they had held that and no one had peeked that, that would have been the spike getting a defuse, but luckily they do follow up this time, and all of a sudden Zenigma has brought it back from the depths. It seems like it was gonna be a 13-8, and nothing could stop this train. But time and time again, Zenigma, they can bring it back to the draw, they can bring it back at least one round away from the tie. Can they bring it all the way home? They should be guaranteed at least that tie scenario, as they have put Winthrop in a position where they can't buy, they have to go for a save. But it's not really this round I'm worried about, it's about the round that comes after this. That's going to be the big one.
100%. And if Zenigma wins this one, I think they can really kind of keep the dream alive. But if Winthrop catches out Zenigma right here, I don't think the economy is currently in a position to be recoverable by the end of the round. If Winthrop wins this, they need one more. Zenigma, they've got to win at least 2 more after this just to keep the dream alive. Now 1-for-1 trade out the gate, but Reaper coming around the corner with the double kill there. Things looking good all of a sudden.
Spike
It's
planted.
looking very, very good, not surprising.
Player standing.
An advantage. Player loses that duel. Now Ali, can they find anything with this Marshall that's left behind? This one you're just throwing for trades, because this is not, you don't actually care about this Marshall at all, and you get nothing out of it, but you tried. And
You got a body shot.
you did land a body shot. You do get a little bit more damage, right? That's what counts. It's an A for effort.
Gold damage, right? Oh, sorry, wrong game. But
Wrong game.
I definitely want to say there was also a point where it looked like, I think it was Winthrop when they were in the lead by,
1 second,
I don't
please.
even remember
I
how much,
gotta
that's not the
visit the
important
Astro
part.
to play some
Somebody on their
stars.
team, Swish, I believe, had 20 eliminations. Still does. And Zenigma, they've climbed all the way up to Arc having 19.
That's crazy.
I am with you.
Yeah, and I think at the time, Arc had 8 or 9. So there has been a serious character development arc. No pun intended. But, you know, Zenigma now, they're able to take the lead here if they play this careful. They've got the ult advantage. They've just got to make sure they don't overextend.
The big thing though is
Get out
Arc
of my way.
there's also 17 deaths, so they're getting a lot of kills, but they're also falling a lot. So you gotta make sure your Astra, as the controller, needs to stay alive to set up map control. But you are able to take out twice, and that is exactly what you need here.
Yeah, Trazik's picking up a crucial elimination, keeping the dream alive for Zenigma. They get rid of the Cypher, so there's no more intel, there's no more neural theft either. Tripwire was going to be right there, but now Trazix just gets to storm into point completely for free. However, does not have the spike. The rest of the team catching up slow but sure. Limit Tester with the patience of something that is very patient, able to find a great kill there. Winthrop now, they're down 5-3. This could be a 13-11 if Zenigma can keep this up.
They have not been able to win a round when they finally nailed tie things up. Now this is the time. There are 2 members weak on the side of Zenigma, both in the red, but the lockdown should secure that. The Blaze Storm also, so 2 ultimates being used there to make sure that, I mean, you can tell like they're playing for now, they're not playing for next round, but this game is not guaranteed to be over just yet. Winthrop, I don't think their economy is going to be healthy enough to buy fully, but they do keep 2 weapons, which allows those members to buy for others. So this has been completely turned on its head since this looks so good for Zenigma.
I was gonna say I am pro lockdown. I think that was a great idea. I am anti Blade Storm there. I think that was not a great idea. I get the idea. Oh my god, no way! Oh my. Oh, okay. So Zenigma wins the firefight, but they lose 3 post round. They lose 3. That is.
But look at their economy. Look at their
devastating.
economy, though. They have enough. If they have enough, and no one on the side of Winthrop does, I think this is worse for Winthrop. Yeah, you do get those trades and you do force them to buy again, but it doesn't matter if they're being forced to buy. If this is the potential last round, it doesn't matter how many people they lose as long as they win out somehow, some way. Winthrop, they're going to have to go for Frankenstein by 2 Spectres, a classic for Flair, who does have a Blade Storm, so that's why they go for that. But you would have just preferred, honestly, to keep the weapons you had, save 2, and then those 2 can buy for everyone else. That was not a firefight they wanted to take.
If Winthrop plays this correctly, I think these ults can really give them the competitive edge to win this round and force us into an OT, but realistically, Zenigma, they've been on top of their A-game. Ultimates or not. As I say, and West finds that first kill onto Arc with a Spectre, the Sova almost going down as well. Here comes that Hunter's Fury, a move of desperation. 2 eliminations in favor of Winthrop. Reaper trying to be on cleanup crew, but just can't do it yet. Chris puts down West. 2 in favor of Winthrop. Ali picks up Reaper, and there it is. Winthrop, they are going to win that round, tying things up, forcing us into an overtime here in map 1.
Switching sides.
This is one of my favorite ways that the game is played. I mean, Zenigma had it in hand, but it's not said and done until it is finalized. Now, each team has the same economy. Every time it's going to reset to the exact same amount of credits, so it's a bit of a coin toss in that regard, but you have to play until you win 2 rounds in a row, or have a score differential of 2, because you can win 2 and still only have a score differential of 1, depending on how things go. Do that, you win on offense and defense, if you're able to take this game home, and both teams, they came to play. We've already talked about why this game is important for both of them. A little bit less so for Winthrop, but still important nonetheless. You can tell this is just, what a great way to end the regular season. That's all I can say about that.
Absolutely. We just hope for good content, right? It's a quality game. We are, by golly, getting those. 12-12 in the overtime. To think there was a 4-round difference at one point, and Zenigma, they have become so close to just sniping this first map out from underneath Winthrop, excuse me. 12-12 tie-up, going to be 80 seconds on the clock, so more than enough time to play this one slow. You should have all your abilities and, you know, a full kit across the board. It's really going to come down to that mechanical skill, that individual talent.
Also comes down to strategy just a little bit, as Zenigma already losing some health bars, not any members, but the Sky going to be low. We've been talking to how she cannot heal herself, so that damage is permanent. So when they're already finding an early advantage, but not playing too aggressively yet, still trying to be patient. Looks like they are going to be going to A eventually, but be careful. One thing to note about this is they also are already halfway to getting their ultimates every round. This all orb to get them a little bit closer. This Phoenix almost having the run it back.
The running back could make such a colossal difference here, but it's Winthrop who comes storming in with 2 eliminations.
30 seconds left.
Making sure they send a message to Zenigma Alpha here. Chris does find that counter kill. They're still down by 1. The spike already been planted, but it's definitely winnable for both sides. The run it back online, I wouldn't be surprised to see it here.
Why not? You're not going to keep the next round, so you might as well just use it right now. There it is. Now you can walk through, storm the castle. And I mean, what is going on the other side of that wall? It looks like there's 3 members of the defense running right into everyone from the attack. They're
all damaged already as well. There goes one. Able to find a counter kill, but Flair just cleans it up. Not quite the ace, but the 4K in general gets the Blade Storm and throws it all away. They got the round win. They got what they needed, but now Winthrop, they are 1 round short of walking away with a victory here on Haven.
Again, everything resets. Those ultimates, that Blade Storm not going to be here anyway, so might as well just throw it up in celebration. Flair going to be spending everything in their pocket just to buy the Operator. No armor, but they think it's worthy enough of doing so. I agree, honestly, when you've been as good as they have. Might as well just try to hold down the point a bit. Make them worry about the sightline. Winthrop now 1 round away, and we talked about something was clutch factor. Again, lacking. Able to get to this point, but not able to seal the deal.
Yeah, and sealing the deal is obviously what it's all about, right? Flair looking for that first shot opportunity, might be able to find this other jet if she peeks. Oh, it was the Astra, but Arc still goes down. What a shot from Flair to give Winthrop a phenomenal opportunity. Move forward, Ali down to 9 health, will be taken out. Swish picks up a double kill in the process. Oh, Flair puts down Trazix, and now Chris can kiss Haven goodbye with the rest of his team as Winthrop walks away victorious of 14-12.
And again, this is not the end of the world for any means for Zenigma. If they win 1 map, they're in pretty good shape, even if they don't win the series. If they lose both and UBC loses, they're still in that final playoff seeding. So you don't have to hit the panic button just yet. That was a very close map. You played it down to the wire. Just I really thought that was theirs for the take. I'm going to be honest. I thought when they hit that 12 to 11 mark, when that bye came out for Winthrop, that was done and dusted. The series was going to continue, but they would have that 1-0 lead going into the next map. And then Winthrop just shows up every time they're able to. So Zenigma able to just get it all the way to the end, but not across. It's like basically you're running a marathon and you just don't have enough strength to get across the finish line. You fall at the last step, and then someone else just runs right past you. That's kind of unfortunately how it felt there.
Yeah, I mean, talk about in overtime, right? What was that, a 25-round series? I don't know the math off the top of my head, but that was a long game, right? So these players running a mental marathon as well as a physical one. Now, before we throw it to the break, I want to comment on you accidentally predicting the future. When you commented earlier, you commented on how Arc kept dying at the beginning of every round and how that was a serious kind of thorn in the side. And then who was the first person to go down in that final round?
It was Arc.
Who else but Arc? The same thing happened, and that story Arc coming to a close there, just something that the team really needs to work on. If they can solve that mild issue, I think it could really look better for them moving into Ascent. We're going to throw it to a super short break. Everybody use this time, use the restroom, get some water, do whatever, but come right back here for map 2. After seeing an overtime victory, it's bound to be a good one. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
honest, I drink a lot of sodas when I'm gaming. Might as well drink something that's good for me. Head over to drinkolipop.com and order your favorite flavor.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back for some more UPL Valorant. I'm Septilins, joined by the great and wonderful Jag as well. We're going to be jumping into the second map, Ascent, in just a moment, which I'm excited to see the teams play. I'm not exactly excited to see Ascent, I'm going to be honest. I've seen this map 1,000 times, but we saw some Sova gameplay, which might mean we see some Odin gameplay, and that is always hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about combinations. I feel like if we're going to talk about weapons and agents, first of all, you got the Judge and the Raze. Those who go just so well together. Then you got the Operator and the Jet. And then the Odin and the Sova, because Sova's got great information for the recon. There's a lot of great wallbang spots, especially if you get a point B and you're on defense. Just spray and pray through the wall. You usually can find someone, especially if they go for that orb. That is so risky. If there's a Sova there waiting behind the wall, that's an insta-kill. So we'll see if that play comes out. I just think, overall, I wish we could cover more games, honestly, in this week 5. I said this at the top of the broadcast during the summer split. It was just, maybe one or two teams competing for seeding for a spot in the playoffs. This time, everything. I mean, we're in the Vandal conference this time around, but in the Fandom conference, they've got 3 people tied for first right now.
Dang.
We already got one of our teams tied for, I believe, it's basically 2nd through 4th, and one of our teams tied for first. So there's a lot on the line here. Zenigma, again, battling for a spot to actually get into playoffs. Winthrop trying to secure a top spot after taking down Converse, who are the defending champions from summer. So as we get into the second and potentially last map, could go anyone's way, because that last map, it went to OT, and Zenigma, I think the biggest thing, and this has kind of been something I've been harping on, they can battle back all the way, but they cannot get it done. They had so many opportunities to win that map. They could have won outright. They could have just had a 13-11, and then it fell apart in that last round of regulation.
It crumbled. It really did. That was super unfortunate to see it happen. In terms of just making it, it was 8-8 at one point and they fell short. It was 11-11 at one point and they fell short. It just seems to be they can get to that tie, they can punch above their weight, but they can't punch any higher than the equivalent of the opposing team. Now we're seeing a lot more time. Last time we saw the agent select, it felt almost instantaneous, but this time around, we're seeing nothing has changed.
Literally nothing. Yeah, it's the exact same comp, and that's really surprising to me. We'll have to wait for Arc, and as I say, Arc's probably going to go for the Astra again. Yep, it is
identical.
Just a mirror comp. It's identical to what both guys like. Nope, actually twice. Are you gonna mess with us? Looks like they were going for it for a second. Up. I was gonna say they do that too late. They might get auto locked into it, but no, it is going to be. Yeah, okay. I just we're getting our hopes up here for the.
They didn't fool us once, but
Cypher
twice.
is finally locked in. I'm really shocked there's no Reyna. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I really thought we'd see at least one Reyna, one double duelist comp come out, but no, both teams running the exact same thing they did before.
Yeah, and honestly, I kind of get it because it was so close. It was as close as it is. And, if you're on one side, you're thinking, oh, we only lost by a couple rounds. We played that same comp. We were super close. We can turn it around. And on the other side, you're thinking, oh, we won by a few rounds. This comp worked. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think... Yeah. I don't know. I think there are definitely better choices that both teams could have made agent selection-wise, but I don't think anybody's really thrown with their agent select either. I think both these comps can work.
I agree, and I want to recorrect something I just said. There is a double duelist comp. It's the Phoenix, but the way that he's being played, it does feel like it's more like a Sky. It is more like a support kind of role as opposed to a duelist, and Ollie has been playing it really well. There's nothing wrong with that. I think they could have really done better on the Reyna if they had that a little bit of extra firepower, a little bit.
Right.
I mean, Reyna and Phoenix, they both engage, but Reyna's risk of running in and dying is a lot less because she has those soul orbs that she can heal off of. We'll have to see if Ollie can once again get it done. And it looks like for now, Zenigma on the attack. Just going to be waiting for that default pick, looking towards B.
I just want to stare at that Mage Punk ghost forever. It's gone already, but whoever the Jet is on the side of Zenigma has it. I love the Mage Punk set. It is my favorite. If it ever comes back around, I will buy it without a moment of hesitation. But enough about me.
Giving Riot your money.
What'd you say?
Just giving Riot your money.
I would. I absolutely would. They could charge me like $150 for it. I'd pay for it. I want it so bad, honestly. It was released before I really got into the game, but look how effective it is! Look at Reaper getting a kill with it there. Swish trying to keep the Dream alive, but getting absolutely collapsed on Reaper around the corner, able to find that second kill. 3 players left. Ali going for a flank, but Limit Tester has been so good about waiting for these flanks. Unfortunately, you didn't get the element of surprise that time. Ali was able to find that kill instantaneously. 4v3, Zenigma, they have forced Winthrop into a retake scenario.
Everyone's on point, but they're not all playing back or Boathouse, which is good. Some of them are playing on the side, but Zenigma's still falling so low. Everyone had pretty good help for Winthrop, but not West. They're done.
Oh, yeah, Reaper able to find that 3K, the spike. They didn't even get closer. I don't think anybody from Winthrop even actually touched the point before they fell there. That was going to be a very convincing round. Zenigma, they're carrying that momentum over. I feel like I say that a lot in Rocket League, but I'm going to say that here in Valorant as well, where when you end a game with positive momentum the way Zenigma really did, going from a 4-round deficit to losing in overtime, you can really keep that positivity moving into this next one. You look at it as a GG go next. You're running the same comps. Everybody's warmed up. Zenigma, they should be playing at their 110%.
The only one who was there originally was Twice, ended up falling early before the spike was planted, and I agree with you. Yeah, you did end up losing and you did not clutch out, but you were able to battle back every time, and that's enough for you to really feel confident going into this. You will have to go into Ollie's Marshall, which we saw a few times, and it worked out pretty decently on Haven.
Oh! West got a little distracted by the drone there, and Limit just took the absolute opportunity. Ali hitting the headshot of a lifetime. We were just looking at trick shots left, right, and center here. Twice gets a shorty kill in the mix, but Zenigma still putting in the work, able to win that second round rather convincingly.
I think what was so impressive about that shot from Ali and like what kind of made me gasp like that was that they missed the initial shot and then immediately just went for the hip fire, and that was a headshot. I mean, that's outrageous. It works out though. In the end, for Zenigma, despite losing that one member, they're able to go up 2-0, but this is very reminiscent of what we saw last game on Haven. They had that 2-0 lead, and what happened, they ended up falling to I think it was 4-2, 5-2, and they did end up getting it back to 4-8 before the half, which isn't too bad, but they really fell off after having a good initial start.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I want to see Zenigma keep up this positivity, like you said. If they're able to even push as far as that 6, right? If they can guarantee just a tie at the halftime, that could be so much better momentum-wise. You force the game into a full, complete, and total reset, and that'll just be a 1st to 7 at that point. But this is a much slower pace than we've seen in these last 2 rounds, and I feel like Winthrop really is a bit more successful on these slow-paced matchups.
They are, and I think that just shows that like they're very smart about their rotations overall and just waiting instead of just kind of like going in. I feel like when they go in, they're kind of forced into a position they don't want to be in, which is they don't know where to keep looking. When they had time to set up on a point, it works out really well. That is it. The gravity well is going to come out eventually. It's in a shooting range for West.
Oh,
2 gets 3.
Oh, West just putting in the work there. Oh my. Flawless. Honestly, I know the game didn't say that was flawless, but West was flawless. 1 turned to 2, turned to 3. The gravity well of a lifetime.
I was waiting for it too. I thought they had thrown out a second sooner. I was like, where is it? Where is it? Now it comes out just a little bit later, and it works out right before the door is closed. The spike's behind the door. It's just so well timed. We talk about timing, sure. Zenigma, very calculated, very calm there. Taking a little bit too long trying to cross over from tree, and talked about this hesitation. Sometimes it was planning spike. This time it's there just making the rotation over. Cost them what could have been a bit of a thrifty round, but actually Swish going to be the one who's taking damage here with the Odin.
Yeah, Swish, I think, dealt... No, I don't think dealt any damage, actually. Had the crosshairs right on somebody, but still wasn't able to find that damage, dropping down to 70 in the process. That would be the first time I've seen somebody get, like, counter wallbanged like that. That was genius.
I think Arc took like a little bit of smidge of damage, but you're right, definitely didn't win that trade. And I don't think I've seen that either. And so they're just like, I usually would just run away, but I'm only in gold, so what do I know? They're just like, you know what? Why don't we just shoot back? We've got 3 against 1.
And it didn't quite get that kill, but I mean, it definitely made progress. Oh, Chris peeked to the corner and then just his mouse DC'd or something. I don't know, just completely stopped moving right for the picking there. So it's going to be 5v4. Winthrop, I mean, I think there's a really good chance they can tie this up if they play it safe, but we've seen what Zenigma can do under pressure, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them just go crazy right here.
Odin in hand for Limit Tester. Guiding light around the corner. That's not something I've seen. That's big brain if it's able to land. It's off the corner. No indicator was anything there, and now there's a dash in. And this is what we talked about. They're not great when they have to run into situations like this.
Yep. That was a great tripwire as well, I believe. Winthrop that caught out that jet. She was just able to get taken offline now twice, picks up Phrazix. Might be able to go for a spike plant if you're lucky. But Limit Tester flying the corner, can't fire fast enough, picks up twice, but the damage has been done.
10 seconds left.
Arc trying to be the hero, finds 1, might be able to, will not find 2. Flare picking up their 3K of the game, tying up the series 2-2. This is feeling like Haven all over again.
It is, and I feel like I might have cast a curse a little bit there. I said, you know, they had a great start and they fall behind, so we'll see if those next 2 rounds go the way of Winthrop, and it's exactly like it. But I think the biggest thing is Twice on this defense has really shown up. I feel like the Cypher ability usage here has been better. We see there the tripwire is perfectly timed. It denies the jet trying to just dash across, and there actually are ways to just kind of avoid that completely if you play it smart, if you know it's there, but that time gets caught out, tries to turn around. Twice is there for the follow-up too.
Scanning ahead.
It's Zenigma. You have to go for a life eye too.
Oh!
Flare immediately gets one.
Flare got a great shot, but then got greedy, just walking to the remaining 4, trying to find it down. They only had Sheriffs, but 4 Sheriff bullets are gonna kill you, whether they hit you in the head or not. I mean, that is just so much damage. Phrazix almost does fall, but unfortunately, Winthrop does not get taken offline. Now 2 players out to make it 1 as Reaper goes down to Ali. This is becoming harder and harder for Zenigma to turn around.
They do have a lockdown, but they don't have a lot of health, and they have no way to heal it up, so they really need to try to take over a site quickly. And you do not want your weakest member peeking into that. Tries to immediately just melt it down, hot hands and a heal up Ali. This is looking very dire now for Zenigma.
Ali has finally woken up. They have... I'm not going to say it yet. I'll save it for later. But they are looking much stronger here. Ali in particular coming through. A great flash. Hyper aggressive around the corner. Knew the third opportunity was there. Might drop the 4K if Chris isn't fast enough. Location's been given up. They're both going to play it safe. But Chris, definite lack of firepower, gets flashed out as well. But no, finds it. Ali goes down. There's a new sheriff in town, and it is not Chris. Twice finds the kill. Winthrop going up 3-2.
And now they're getting closer and closer to that 4-2 scoreline that we've talked about, but they're not doing it super cleanly. Every time they've won around, they're still losing members along the way. It's not costing them yet. Their economy is healthy enough where they can still sustain for this round. Potentially another, because Swish is just absolutely loaded right now. That's crazy. 7,000 credits, 5 rounds in. Wow. So maybe they can buy for 1 or 2 teammates if that situation becomes a bit more dire later on. But they're running into an ult disadvantage. Those Seekers from Zenigma could be huge. I don't feel like they've had as much impact as we would maybe expect, but think about this. Seekers into Lockdown, into Cosmic Divide could be huge, but it's actually going to be the Blade Storm that's used first.
Yeah, the Blade Storm, a confident move there. Seekers, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Seekers make an appearance later. Honestly, I'm a huge fan of that play. Get rid of the Tripwire with the Owl Drone. That is Not only a great bait, but just a very intelligent move. Flare
down, mid.
takes Arc down. The Seekers are out, but the damage has been done. West on the corner. Oh, it's going to be Reaper with the one tap from West. Looks like they're going to be able to keep the numbers tied up at least for a moment, but it's Ali who puts Reaper down and takes that Blade Storm to a close.
Ali on this Phoenix. I mean, we talked about it. Not the most usual pick. Definitely not as bad as a Yoru, for example, but they have made it work. They've been aggressive when they need to be, and they've been passive when they need to be. So very much like a Sky. The only difference is that they can heal themselves and no one else.
I am very much fond of the Phoenix pick on Ascent. I think it's the only map in the game where he is a good pick. Oh! Trazix with the double bounce kill, picks up Swish with the shock dart, and now all of a sudden things are looking bleak. Zenigma, they've got the numbers disadvantaged, but they might be able to sneak up and get at least one more kill.
Well, right around the corner twice.
30 seconds left.
Hold that angle, try to use the spy cam, finds nothing. Time is running out. Flare, though, caught with their pants down a little bit. Now all of a sudden things are even, and there is a Hunter's Fury for Zenigma.
The Hunter's Fury here would be but honestly, it'd just be kind of crazy. I would like that level of crazy, but I don't think we're going to be seeing it quite yet. Trazix,
I have the spike.
looking for that 4K. Has the spike, has to go for the plant because we are in the red now. Unfortunately, pulled it a little bit too late, does not have the time to find it. You need at least 4.5 seconds, and Zenigma started planting with like 3.8 on the clock.
Yeah, it was that second jump. I was really surprised. They had distance with, the second bunny hop. They could have just gotten it down. Honestly, they didn't even need the first bunny hop. They could have just gone for it right then. There's enough cover there that you can plant it, and there's really no way that Winthrop can contest it, at least in that moment. Instead, though, again, indecision. There, tries to get a little bit farther away, and it's a game of seconds and inches at that point. 3.8, like you said, not enough time. That was around today, but maybe could have pulled out, but instead, it's the same score as what we had on Haven. It's 4-2 Winthrop.
Yeah, this just feels like a repeat back-to-back, things starting strong for Zenigma and then falling a little bit short. You've explained that whole tried and true story for us already, but just to focus on it again, Winthrop, they've got the 3 ults again. I think Neural Theft here could be huge. Just find a kill early and get that Neural Theft. That could just clean up the rest of this round in the blink of an eye.
We need to find that elimination first, and they are not going to be running down any angles or hallways anytime soon. Twice might be finding a 2v1 very soon. They decide to try to take over market even more. So no, they're just going to try to go down the door. If you're just over there, you're going to know that you're just going to spray and pray, and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, the spray and pray. A tried and true strategy with Sovas with those. It's actually going to be Flare who finds that opening elimination onto Reaper. This operator so far, making a world of difference up to this point. We've seen some great progress in Art. Going to go for a spike plant a little bit earlier than last round. I'm a big fan of that. You just storm in, you find it, you guarantee yourself additional credits and perhaps a round win as well. Now a Killjoy lockdown coming out as well as a... I'm officially no longer a fan of this play.
Does find a hit. I think it hit one of their teammates as well, and it's going to be very hard for Winthrop to run back into this.
I get what Zenigma's going for here. They're trying to make kind of an unbreakable wall. They want to make sure they win this round, but using all 3 ultimates you had, I'm not a fan of that in the slightest.
Now you're down in numbers, but you still have still positioning, and you're able to take out Flare. It's falling apart. Zenigma finally able to bring one back. It takes basically everything in their ult bank, but they don't want that lead to get too out of hand. But I mean, I might be misremembering this, but I'm pretty sure after that 4-2 lead came about, Zenigma was able to get one back, led it to 4-3, and then Winthrop was able to get 3 in a row to get it to like 7-3 or something like along those lines. So this is basically the same script we saw last time around.
I cannot believe that they just popped 3 ultimates at the same time. I don't know if that was just a level of miscommunication. Maybe it was one of those situations where somebody was like, hey, don't forget you have your ults. But all things considered, I think that's really going to bite Zenigma in the butt later on.
Everyone press their ults. Everyone go for it right now. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. There are some combinations that were there. I think the biggest thing is they don't want to fall behind too early, so they're just trying to use it now while they can, but they're going to be running right into Flare, and that's one.
Oh, took no damage! Flare also took absolutely no damage on the corner. Limit Tester looking the wrong way, and Flare picks up 2 of them! Makes it 3K on board, finds a 4th! What? Where was Chris? Where was Chris?
Everybody hates Chris for a reason, am I right?
I didn't even see a Killjoy!
Spike planted.
Unfortunately, that is the end of that. I think they were on point around where Arc is now. Can't get the ace, but is able to put their team in the best position possible. Few nebulas around. Everyone is coming from heaven. Lots of recon bolt barely avoided. Now that's going to be some information.
Oh, no, the
Isn't
Cypher
enough.
saw her, yeah. Twice definitely saw her peek around the corner there, was not able to get out of the way in time. Winthrop, they've got more than enough time to defuse. I still can't believe that 4K. Where?
It is over.
I'm going to have to go back and watch that. I have no idea where the Killjoy was in that. It was a 3K, and then all of a sudden it was a 4K, and I completely lost it. But what a phenomenal round from Flare there. Just really opening that fight. Like you said, didn't get the ace, but left their team in the best possible position.
All right, I got some score updates coming right at you, Septilance, before we get back into this match really quickly. UCD able to beat the Grid Crushers 2-0, so UCD in great position to take #1 seed, and Phantom undecided beats William and Mary 2-0, and this is the most impactful one. UBC actually beat Akuma 2-1, so he said if UBC lost, didn't matter how they did in this matchup, it is basically a Zenigma moving on. But UBC able to pull out the victory against Akuma, and it is also not a full sweep. Makes things very dire, as Akuma does have the head-to-head victory over Zenigma already. So Zenigma now, they have to win this series to move on to playoffs.
That's a terrifying thing. Now, to be fair, I don't think they would know that yet. So,
I don't think so either.
that's a slight weight off the shoulders, but realistically, like you said, they've got to win this one to keep the dream alive.
I mean, winning they're in, it was kind of always the scenario you want to be in, because you don't ever want to put your fate into someone else's hands.
Yeah,
Sure,
very true.
You
Very
lose, and then UBC also loses, then it's whatever. But if you win, you know you're going to do it. Right now, they're facing, again, a very similar situation to they did in Haven, where they're winning rounds where they use a lot, and they're losing rounds when it's mostly equal footing, I would say. There's a lot of times, actually, where they might be up, and then it just kind of passes them by. They're not looking the right way, or they just don't play it the right way. Still in this, only 2-round differential. We saw what happened last time. That lead ended up getting just exponentially bigger for Winthrop as it went on.
Yeah, 2 turned into 4 at one point. I mean, that's really, this can't get worse. And we just got a very cool POV from Swish, me at the beginning of every round on Ascent. That was exactly what it looks like. And now Sky almost falling early, cannot heal herself. I feel like we've said that a lot, but it always feels so important. Ali getting, I almost said too aggressive, but immediately picks up a kill, takes no damage, and finds another. That one is going to the highlight reel. That was clean as a whistle. That was a phenomenal startup for Winthrop.
Run it back online as well as an Earl. We
Right
talked
here.
about that earlier. That could be a win condition in its own right if you find it where everyone is. Haven't had to use it yet. Cosmic Divide as well, and with only 2 members left on the other side, and both of them being very weak, this could be a flawless for Winthrop.
Very much so. And now some great action coming through the smoke as well. Just puts Limit Tester down, and there goes Ard. Yeah, with that big brain play, that is a flawless round indeed. 6-3. This, I feel like we're watching. I feel like somebody just reskinned Haven and then gave us the same clip.
J2, I got the best meme for you right now. Just, you know, as the social media manager myself, I'm just thinking in my head, big brain plays, handshake, big brain analysis. You got it both right there. It's just what's expected, though. I mean, it's a save round. There isn't really much they can do if you're something where you're just trying to find a plant, trying to find a few kills here and there. Can't get anything, unfortunately. It was an awkward push also when it was the 5v2 into mid. I wasn't even sure if they were shooting because they were in the nebula, but regardless if they got any shots off or not, couldn't get any kills.
Oh!
Now they're going to try to use the Seekers to get onto this point.
Yeah, the Seekers are a bold choice. They're really just kind of trying to run and gun their way into A side. It's not working out on Ali with a hot hands that immediately interrupts the entirety of the performance. And the running back was weird. No enemies had been seen, and Ali didn't even hook to me, but each their own. I'm certainly no Phoenix player. The Cosmic Divide now from Zenigma, the 3rd ultimate of the round to be used. Let's see what they can do with it. It's a bait?
Used it. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're trying to go for a bait and switch where they're, you know, faking that they're going to leave and they're going to go back in momentarily. It looks like that's what they're going to do. They do sort of get Winthrop to jump off, so they're not holding A as aggressively as they were before, and they move more to tree. Ollie is the only one who's actually on point.
Yeah, and Ali was immediately ready for it. Flare on cleanup crew, but it's going to be Chris and Trazic's able to find 3 kills back-to-back-to-back. Headshots only Zenigma. They're able to turn this one around, but 2 players left. Some impactful ones at that. Let's see what they're able to do.
New players, new kids on the block. They're able to carry this round. Can they get it all the way through, though? Can they win this one out? It's still a very weak Silva on the side as Zenigma, so they're able to find that early on, which they might. Actually, just gonna go with the shock dart. Does
Should've
it
gone for the
land?
Odin.
No. Yeah. Well, they're able to get the kill actually from twice on the other side.
Yes, so some great distraction there from
Last
Swish, who's
player
currently sitting at
standing.
1 elimination, I believe. Only able to help twice get that kill, but it's going to be Ark, who's just on an absolute cleanup crew. This may be where the curse is broken. It looks like Zenigma may try to get that 5th round win if they're able to before the halftime. If they tie this up 6-6, this series is basically reborn.
It is. Then it becomes a first 2-7.
BYB fam.
You did the math
Going
there.
to
I was
Astro
like thinking about like,
Kingdom,
is that right?
Astro
It was
Guardian
right. I believe in
things
myself there. But I think the big thing is that bait and switch was just so big for them. They really executed that play. And we know that they play better when they just wait and are able to just kind of let things develop the way they want them to. That time, forced enough people off of the point to run back in. Help the spike down in there. Again with the stragglers. Very close match.
Flair just waiting ever so patiently around the corner with his arm. Oh, doesn't matter. Ali is just locking these headshots every single time. Picks up a kill out the gate like that. Flair gonna get a rude awakening, and it's trafficked. Trazix with the Guardian nonetheless, getting that kill, dismissing the operator from the round.
How I say the Guardian. Maybe not the best weapon in the game because of its fire rate, semi-automatic, but is able to hit the one tap onto the operator. Is a huge pick, but they can't get out of their life. They were stuck there. It's a 3v3.
Yeah, and Trazix there as well used every
Spike
util
down
they
A.
had and just got demolished by Ali, dismissing every single one. The Owl Drone destroyed, the Recon Bolt destroyed. This is Ali's show right now, looking for the ace. Already found 3, only has to find 2 more, and they're sitting in front of him like fish in a barrel. Gonna fall a little bit wide, unfortunately, that first shot, and it looks like they're gonna dip, try to rotate around, possibly through tree.
They have the
30
spike. That was the big
seconds
thing. They're able to dash in, able to pick it up, and it is in the Sky's hands. Which is interesting because Jet's the one who's trying to go right now through tree, so Reaper. They're going for a split approach to site being down some area with 1v1. It's huge,
Oh,
but
no.
no.
Down A.
Ollie, I don't even know if the ace unless they lose this yet. West able to take that away, but takes the round. An advantage given it to Winthrop no matter what.
Last round.
Could be
before
another
the switch.
8-4.
It very well could be. When Zenigma won that 4th round, I had faith they were going to be able to return the next round as well, but they have unfortunately fallen just a
1
wee bit
second,
short.
peeps. I
I've got
gotta
to say,
visit
Winthrop, the
Astro
fact they're
Place
keeping this so
fast.
close and Swish is still sitting at only a single elimination, I mean, this has just been the Flair and Ali game all game long.
A bit of a cat and mouse, I would say. We got to talk about how we were really
going
just
above.
wondering about this Phoenix pick. I had said I thought they did really well, but that was a long time ago. 2 weeks ago is like a lifetime when you're 25, and they're making it work. It's worked out so well for Ollie. I'm never going to try a Phoenix pick again. I might have actually said the exact line previously, too. But Reaper still trying to build their team to a round win. Blaze Storm in hand after getting that ult orb, and they do have a lockdown.
Need that back.
Yeah, the lockdown could be huge. And I mean, Ali, he might not be great at marbles, but by golly, is this guy good at Valorant? You know what I mean? This has just been the Ali show so far on Ascent. Chris picking up a great kill, committing the lockdown as well, I believe so. Lockdown making an appearance, some Blade Storm action as well. And now Hunter's Fury from Swish, desperate to put some more kills on the board.
Breaks it, but Chris able to get another one in the meantime. It's a 3v5.
Spike
Neural Theft.
planted.
Have we seen it even once yet? Maybe only
No.
once? They
Once on
have
Haven.
That. Neural Theft is there, or not Neural, but I just said that. The Run It Back is there as well. So 2 ultimates, but you're down to the Run It Back going to be used and immediately broken up.
Ali just goodbye. Their flashes themselves as well. Wow, phenomenal tracking though. Able to get that kill. Swish picks up Arc with the shock dart, doubling the KD or the kill department. But it's Reaper absolutely tearing up the game right now, missing almost every knife available. But it's going to be Limit Tester with an Ares who picks up that kill as Enigma. They get at least that 5th round going into overtime.
Switching sides.
Script has been broken now. We thought it might be the exact same score at halftime. It's not. Zenigma able to even things up a little bit more, able to get themselves in a position where they win the next 2 rounds, which we do know they're pretty good at pistol rounds. They're just back in the game completely. Everything is kind of reset up.
They
The
actually
biggest
haven't
thing
lost a
there
pistol
is-
round yet.
I think you're right about that. They
Yeah,
have
no,
not lost a
they've-
pistol round yet.
Because on Haven, they won the first 2 rounds. That's when they started to turn it around. It was 8-6, and they got it up to 8-8. They won the first one as well. They won the first 2 rounds here. Yeah, so they've won every pistol round up to this point.
Let's see if they can do it once more. I was going to say, the biggest thing there is Ali able to win that duel against Chris, but then doesn't heal up right away. I feel like if they had tried using their hot hands a bit sooner before they peaked,
Yeah.
that could have really enabled Zenigma, or enabled Winthrop, excuse me. Zenigma was enabled by the fact that they were peeking while using the hot hands. But like you said, this is Zenigma's time to shine once more. They could get again to a tie game, as we know they can.
Oh, Flair knew exactly where that turret was going to be. They take it down early, turn this 5.5 v5 back into that 5v5. That turret not going to be of any assistance here. Prince Ali, where could he be? Down in your back line, waiting to find this opportunity here, not able to pick up anything yet. I think the difference between these good players and well, me, is I just can't sit here and be patient like this. Like, I know I would have held W around the corner and had my head taken off. It's just, I get bored. I don't know. I need action, and Reaper looking to give me just that. Twice is going to fall pretty early. Flair picks up a kill onto Limit Tester as well. Ali trying to clean things up, but nothing going to fall quite yet.
These rotations are so aggressive for the attackers. They are all the way in the defensive backline. Might be what cost them this is. No, Ali able to stay alive. Both duels so weak, but still able to stay in this, and now the point is theirs.
30 seconds
A
left.
4 HP Jet
Spike
defending the
planted.
point with her absolute life. Reaper caught out in the smoke.
Last
Just
player
that
standing.
spray and pray comes through. Ali puts down Trazix as well. Winthrop, they're up 4-1 in the pistol round. I might have accidentally cast a cursed Zenigma here. I don't know, maybe Chris just gets a 4K.
Two members are very weak. Actually, three on the second one. They're all basically one shot. It's only Ark who is full health right now, so you're able to get a great spray transfer. It could work out for you, but that recon bolt's gonna let you know where you are, and it's just a firing range now. Swish, able to double their kill counts, and the streak is broken. 3
Firing
out of
squad.
4 pistol rounds went the way of Zenigma, but that one does not.
Yeah, that was close to firing squad really cleaning up Chris. Unfortunately, I mean, like a Killjoy on offense, just not exactly the cleanest survivability there.
Going for the retake, not easy. You had the turret up, ready to deter everyone. I like how those two words very close to each other. But the thing is that there's just too many of them. The turrets could do some damage, and it actually could kill some people because they're all weak, but when you're willing to take that risk, you're willing to try to go for that trade when you have that numbers advantage, and that time it works.
That slow peek around from Ali, just that cool calculated rotation, almost making all the difference, but not able to find any kills as nobody was on A site. It looks like Winthrop might get A site for free here. Maybe a rotation from Ark on the high ground, but I think if they went for the plant already, they could have found it. But instead, nope, they're gonna get back out. It looks like it's a bait.
Flare is sticking around though. Got to be careful. Your head can be seen from certain angles there on the high ground. Hot hands thrown in. And that spike, it does get planted, but like you said, could have been done a lot sooner. They do have the weapons advantages, is a save, but still, timing is everything.
Yeah, I mean, it really could have been done a lot sooner there. That was a weird choice to be made. Now twice getting 3 eliminations. Ali gonna pick up that 4th, and all of a sudden, Trazix just caught out. The team eliminated before his very eyes, and Winthrop, in the blink of an eye, they're going to put away round 14.
Well, now that lead is starting to build up again. 4 rounds is the biggest I think we saw from them around this point last game. It could be extended even more, as it will be a bonus round for Zenigma, but it's not always guaranteed that you win even when you got the better weaponry. I think the biggest thing is Winthrop no ultimate, so Winthrop really here, my guess is they're not going to be playing too aggressively. They're probably going to be playing patient like we've seen most of the game. Hopefully they can find something. If you're a fan of them, get a share of kill trait for a Vandal or a Phantom, that'd be huge. Other than that, though, it's going to be very tricky for the attackers to get in on here.
Oh, immediately taken down there. The Owl Drone gets eliminated. So a little bit of recon, you know, somebody's around that market area, but it doesn't give you as much information as you perhaps wanted. I think we're going to be seeing a push in pretty aggressive from Winthrop here through market. They're going to try to get but Chris finds one, traded out twice, finds a one-tap onto Trazix. This looks great. Winthrop, they have just stormed in once again. Limit Tester finding Ali, though. That may be the first domino to fall. This is a great opportunity for Zenigma to turn this one around. Oh no.
Narrow theft.
Spike planted.
Used, but they don't see that there's someone there. Oh, they gotta pay attention to when it goes down. It was identified, and I just don't think anyone was looking in that direction.
Yeah.
So that equal amount of people alive is now gone. Spike is planted, but they didn't pick up really any weapons from those trades.
We've seen this happen a couple of times where an ability goes down and the player that was kind of using it to hide is just completely unavoidable, right? They just have no
Last
idea what's about to
player
happen. Now
standing.
Swish doubling the kill department here, able to put
Shut down.
3 online. Goes for that shock dart as well, but 33 HP. It's not impossible to turn around, but by golly, is it going to be difficult? Goes for the wallbang ability. Arc gets half of it. Survives the... No! Swish! Swish indeed! Nothing but net to pick up that 4th kill and give Winthrop the 10th round win. Arc, perhaps, getting a little too confident in that health pool.
I thought they had no idea that anyone was there. And can we talk about Swish also? They have completely, like, they're at what, like one?
Literally
at
one,
point?
yeah, at the beginning of
And
the
now
half.
they've gone all the way to 8, and that's crazy. So they've gone 7 in this. I mean, 4 of them are right there. That was insane clutch factor. 33 health. So if Arc had taken that duel, odds are they win. But instead
Yeah.
they try to play the objective, which I get. But you're also playing on low ground versus high ground.
Yep.
And there's still shock darts that are available. Tarsonia could have won that. Instead you choose the one where you lose it.
I think storming in just would have been the better idea, but unfortunately, you know, hindsight is 20/20, of course, and now Zenigma, they're not really going to get to look into the past because they're about to be sent into the ground. It's going to be Zenigma already falling
Spike
3
planted.
to 5. Arc on the high ground has a Marshall. Probably not going to be able to do much with it. Trazic's already down to 46 HP
Last
as well.
player standing.
Ali picks up 2 more, finding a 3K here. How many times have we been in this exact scenario? Poor Chris. Oh! Chris will be poor no more, but Flair will pick up that counter kill, and Winthrop finds themselves up 11 to 5 here in the second half.
This is a much bigger lead than they ever had in the game on Haven, and it looks like they're starting to pull away with it a little bit. Zenigma,
Yeah,
they
this
are
checks
going
out.
to take a timeout. Double digits already achieved, only 2 rounds away from a win. They lose this and it's over, because this is the one buy that they have, and they decided to use it now because they want to avoid getting into that potential overtime scenario if they can make a comeback.
Right.
It's all or nothing here. So you got to take the time out here. You got to try to come up with a plan. The one advantage you do have overall beyond the operator buy is you have a lockdown still online. There's no ultimates for Winthrop just yet. And my guess is they're probably theorizing right now how to use it so they can take this round and not go to that last round scenario where they can't buy.
Yeah, this is going to be an uphill climb at the very least for Zenigma here. This is going to be a very difficult thing for them to turn around. Even if they win this one, they then have to win at least 6 more to force an overtime, and that's in the time that Winthrop isn't allowed to win 2. So this is very clearly Winthrop's for the taking, but we've seen what Zenigma can do. If the Valorant factor kicks in for them here, I mean, they can really run away with this game.
They can, and this is their season on the line. We don't know, again, if they are aware of the scoring line that UBC actually did beat Akuma. So again, that scenario where you lose and still get in, it is gone. You have to win this series, not even just a map. You got to win the entire series. You got to win this map, you got to make this amazing comeback, and then you got to win the Icebox, which would be the tiebreaker. So there's so much on the line. This is your season we're talking about, and this round right here really is do or die.
Yeah, truly. They want this round win like they want their next breath. All the marbles on the table. You've each got 10 marbles, but Winthrop, they've got 19, and you're on your last round of odds and evens here. It's going to be very difficult for Zenigma to turn this one around. They've got the lockdown. They've got a couple of
Deploying
weapons.
drone.
Maybe they can make the magic happen, but with the way Winthrop has just been storming into A site, I mean, Zenigma's not going to be able to afford to miss a shot.
The other thing is it just picked up the Hunter's Fury, so even if that lockdown does come down, they can actually break it with that ult orb being picked up. So Winthrop now has the counter condition to disrupt that ultimate completely.
Yeah, Ali takes a little bit of damage, but of all people that take damage, the Phoenix is probably the best one there in that scenario. You can just heal right back up. Hardly took any damage to begin with. Probably not going to heal up. Gets rid of some KJ info, but has to tuck out of mid now. The location has been given up. Can't go into tree either, so Ali a little bit stuck here. Really not sure which way to engage. Might get into a quick firefight with Reaper here. Reaper's got the op, cannot afford to miss.
Yeah, this is not a firefight you want to peek into. You got to
no.
use a curveball if you want to try to go that angle. Actually, the shot is missed, but twice is the first fall.
Oh,
30 seconds left.
Reaper finds the op, but just cannot win the firefight. Ali finds 2, Swish puts down. Oh man, this is just devastating. Arc falls, and I think this is going to be it. Ali going down, though, is huge for Zenigma because that is just the player who's been tearing it up left, right, and center. Kanashiri on the line. Winthrop is available, but I don't know what Zenigma can do differently here.
And they have to
Revealing
try to
area.
take the fight to them, and their Sky is so weak. They're just going to play all the way back. They have Hunter's Fury, so they can just use it when the sound cue for the defuse goes off. This is such great positioning from Winthrop. So you got to do something. You got to do it
Last
quick.
player standing.
Oh, Oh, Limit finds one, and all of a sudden it is up to Swish. Is it possible for Zenigma to turn this around? The Seekers making an appearance. They're desperate to win this one. The Hunter's Fury from Winthrop. He wants to put this one away, but Limit makes sure he cannot. It is going to be Limit Tester keeping the dream alive for Zenigma Alpha.
And what did I say, Supplements? I said they had to take the fight to them. They did. Their West and Swish were so split up. The Guiding Light cuts off West completely, forces them into a corner, and Swish is not there to try to take that trade. Hunter's Fury, it's great at long range. When someone's running right up to you with a weapon, you're never going to win that. You got to put it away. And the cancellation, I mean, any kind of, I guess, like, ability usage here, there's just, like, a cooldown period of when you can actually pick up your gun. It's very hard to win that, even if you cancel the ultimate in time. Perfect way for Zenigma to stay alive in this series, and all of a sudden, there is a light. There is a way back then.
It's a light at the end of the tunnel, but this time you should walk toward it, right? I mean, this time it's helping you out a little bit. They might be able to...
level up.
Oh, the nade! It's alright, you're in the run it back, so it's really not the end of the world. Dropping down to 56 HP, gonna turn to 40. Getting a lot of recon here, you now know where the turret's at. You can tell the site is open, but you might not be able to find that positivity that you're looking for, especially somebody who's in Boathouse, you'd have no idea, but here comes Winthrop, just storming into Blade Storm, not able to find any value yet. Oh, there it is! The one-for-one trade. Chris and Ali gonna go out hand-in-hand. 4v4 tie-up. The Cosmic Divide is available. Blade Storm finds another. Blair goes down. It is on the shoulders of Reaper here. Needs to find 3 more. Twice picks up Limit Tester. Then here comes around the corner. Reaper puts down another, but it's gonna be Twice who finds Reaper. Trazix takes out Twice. It is a Sova 1v1. Goes for the fake defuse. Not able to find it yet. The wall bang attempt comes through. Maybe it gets half if they're lucky, but I expect the Shock Dart to be making an appearance soon. Down to 84 HP. We've seen this happen before, this Sova 1v1. The spike getting faster and faster. Half already diffused. Has to go for this final 10 HP clutch. No! Oh, the Shock Dart from Swish! Oh, a Swish indeed, my friend. Nothing but net as Winthrop puts away their 12th round win. Zenigma, they are on the ropes here.
The good news for Zenigma is that they actually have a little bit of a bye here. That's the biggest thing, is because they won the last round, there is at least maybe a Spectre or Bulldog. Something can come online for most of the players here. Chris and Limit Tester, unfortunately, gonna have to settle for sidearms, but it's better than what you had previously. Unfortunately, like I said, just a great shot. I mean, was it 0.16? That was the difference between a round win for Zenigma and Winthrop. And now Winthrop, they're at match point, they're at series point. Zenigma, their season might just be about to end.
Oh, I'm a devastating round there, but I got a great one nonetheless for Winthrop. Such a positive turnaround now.
I know exactly.
Trade in favor of Winthrop. They're trying to make round 17 a quick, round 19 a quick one, right? Yeah. Now the Hunter's Fury coming out from Zenigma. They're going to try to find some value. Swish. They go down to 5 HP, but I think the damage has unfortunately been done. Flare's Blade Storm gets taken out by Chris. The 2v3, Zenigma, they've got some HP, right? They're not in critical condition. They might be able to do this if they play their cards right.
Take out Sova, who's very weak. Only thing is, Chris doesn't have the best weapon. They can find something on the ground. That would be huge for them. Gonna have to go with a Guardian for now.
Last player standing.
Nothing really engaging. It's Traz against the world. They cannot get it done. Swish puts away their counterpart. And Winthrop, I believe with that, they are going to secure the first seed in the group. It's Zenigma Alpha. Unfortunately, after a hard-fought season where they were able to bounce back from their week 1 loss to the 2-2 record, cannot finish positive, end up going down 2-3, and do not make playoffs.
That is definitely unfortunate, but Winthrop just, I mean, pulling no punches, fighting tooth and nail all the way down the line. And sometimes, you know, it really do just be like that. Winthrop, they wanted that first seed. They wanted to come through strong, and they did just that. Zenigma, they showed signs of life, especially on the latter half of Ascent, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, and again, we talked about having 2 new players come in. We don't know how long they've been practicing together. We don't know how long this deal has been in the mix to bring on 2 new people. Maybe it was just something that had to happen out of necessity. Maybe those other players left for other opportunities. We're not sure, but you could see sometimes there was a bit of a disconnect around the team's communication, rotations, ability usage, stuff like that. It just wasn't as clean-cut as we saw in that first week game, unfortunately. This is, I think, a great building block for Zenigma going forward. I'd love to see them back again next season, because I feel like this is a team just a little bit more practice, a little bit more time together could really reach for the stars. And I think overall, Winthrop, they do take the #1 seed here after beating Converse. I think overall, the strength of most of these teams between both divisions, Vandal and Phantom, have gotten so much stronger. These playoffs, we thought last time, oh, it's UC Davis is for the taking. UC Davis still strong, but not even they finished undefeated. No teams finished undefeated in the regular season. So this playoff, it doesn't matter who's first seed. I honestly think it's wide open for anyone's for taking.
I wholeheartedly agree. There is no longer one team where I'm thinking, oh, they're just going to walk in and they're going to win. This is an open pot if I have ever seen one. This could be any team from any placement, any seed at this point. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. But we're not in playoffs quite yet. We'll be in them next time we come around with the UPL situation. But for now, I believe we bring tonight to a close. So, of course, I want to give a huge shout out to both the teams for making an appearance. And, of course, every single one of you for watching. If Jack and I were just talking to nobody, that wouldn't be nearly as fun. So thanks, everybody, for watching. A huge shout out to Grant, Hyper in the back line, doing all the wonderful production and amazing things you see around us. Huge shout out to Betty, some of the best observing in Valorant ever. I say that all the time, and I mean it every time I say it. So thank you, everybody, so much for hanging out with us. And check your posture, drink some water. Don't forget to love each other. And we'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.